वासुदेवेन्द्र योगीन्द्रं नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुं मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधोऽभिधीयते. Tattvabodhah abhidhiyate. I am presenting this text, Tattvabodha, for the good of the mumukshus, for the one who wants to be free, who has decided to be free, who has recognized the bondage and wants to be free from this very cycle of birth and death, this coming and going into this samsara, this world. For that person, I am revealing this knowledge of reality. And in the process, the Acharya is talking about qualification. Like everything in life, like every instrument, every sadhana. Sadhana is basically instrument, a means to get to a goal. And every means needs a qualification. You don't give a child a knife because the child doesn't yet know the proper use of a knife. A very sharp knife you never give to a child because they are not qualified for it. In life, when we are qualified and we have a means, an instrument, meaning when we have the knowledge of the uses, proper uses of an instrument, then that instrument will be a blessing for us. If we are not qualified, meaning we don't have the right knowledge of how to use that instrument, that sadhanam, that means, then it could be a curse for us. It could be a burden for us. That's how we get rid of things that we are not comfortable with. We are not comfortable using them. But we have things that are very useful to us, meaning we are qualified enough to use them and get the best out of them. This is life. And the same thing with spiritual sadhanam as well. When a spiritual sadhanam is in my life, I should know how to handle it, how to manage it, how to use it. That is the qualification. If my goal is to get to the ultimate reality, the ultimate freedom from all miseries, then there are sadhanas I can use. If I am interested in the ultimate goal of life, that is the freedom from all miseries, and I want the spiritual sadhana for that, those sadhanas need a qualification on your part. I need to have a qualification, a set of qualifications, then I would be able to use them properly and get the result. So that is why qualifications. And in qualifications, we saw the Acharya talked about vivek, nitya anitya vastu vivekaha, and also iha mutrartha phalabhoga viragaha. The first one being the knowledge, the understanding that there is something nityam, there is something eternal. This ephemeral world that I see is not everything. Even that understanding and a trust in that, a faith in that. And where do we get that knowledge from? From Shastra again. So having that, and the next one is iha mutrartha phalabhoga viragaha, a dispassion to things that are not conducive to my spiritual journey. So having a special passion for your journey, spiritual journey, and in the process having a dispassion towards everything that is not conducive to that journey, viraga. And in this topic, while discussing this topic, the traditional acharyas give out some more information for us to fathom, for us to better understand this whole business of qualification, having a qualification to be able to use the spiritual sadhanas, the means. And they say every mind, universally, every mind is born with three things: the malam. We discussed already in the previous video, but I'm just recapping because there was a long gap, a lot of celebrations of Ganeshji and Ganesh Puja and all that, so there was a long gap. So I'm just recapping. So malam, Vikshepa, and Avaranam. So why do we not know about the ultimate reality? Because it's covered, it's concealed. Avaranam. And that concealment is because of what? Vikshepa. There is a projection. There is a projection of a reality that is not really real. So the projection of an unreality unto the reality, that's what conceals it. And why does that happen? Because of the impurity in the mind. So universally, every mind has this impurity. This impurity, and we are discussing how this impurity can be dealt with, and then how the Vikshepa, the projection, can be dealt with, and what are the means to deal with the Avaranam. Every step, all these three, they need different means to deal with. Just dealing with malam, the impurity of mind, meaning just making the mind pure, is not going to get you to the truth, get you to Bhagavan, get you to the reality, get you to nirvana, get you to mukti, get you to moksha. No. That is one step. Then there is Vikshepa, the projection has to be dealt with. Even with pure mind, you can have projection, the projection of unreality. That will continue still. You will have a pure mind, that's all. Then, but without a pure mind, it's hard to deal with. It's hard to use the means to eradicate projection. So you need a pure mind to be able to use the means to deal with projection Vikshepa. But just because you have cleaned the mind, you have a pure mind, you will not have Ishvara Darshanam, Ishvara Sakshatkara. No. Because there are two more steps. Then there is a sadhana to deal with projection, the projection of unreal world. And even when you have dealt with projection, there is no Sakshatkara for you, then what do? You have to deal with Avaranam, the concealment, the covering that is there, the covering that happens because of the projection. It's not that the projection is gone and you are free. No, you have to still own up the truth as it is once it is uncovered. So there is Mala, Vikshepa, Avaranam, and to deal with them, there are sadhanas, and we are discussing about that. We saw that to deal with malam, one of the ways is Nishkama Karma Yoga. Performing your actions with a proper attitude, with a proper understanding, with a state of mind, with certain understandings that are born out of knowledge and understanding. And this has two steps. How will you be able to do Nishkama Karma? Two steps. Ishvara Arpana Buddhya Karma Karanam. So don't worry about the Sanskrit words, I'm just saying them, putting them there, so that one day you are interested, you will go in a Bhagavad Gita, you can find them in Shastras, you can find them other Shastras, in the Prakarana Granthas, you can find them, the details about them. So, Ishvara Arpana Buddhya Karma Karanam. So you're doing your action, performing your action as puja to Ishvara, as worship to Ishvara, as an offering to Ishvara. You can still have the result in mind. Every puja, there is a sankalpa, and in the sankalpa, we say so many things. Dharmartha kama mokshadi chaturvidha purushartha phala siddhyartham dhana dhanya aishwaryadinam uttrottara abhivruddhyartham क्षेम स्थैर्य धैर्य वीर्य विजय आयु आरोग्य अभिवृद्ध्यर्थम समग्र विश्वस्य कल्याणार्थम सर्व मंगल अवाप्त्यर्थम. All these are artham, meaning to get this I am doing this puja. Any puja, even a simple daily sandhya vandanam, you will say, at least you will say Shri Parameshwara Preetyartham. That is the result. I want Ishvara to be pleased with my action. So there is no puja without a result. So people say immature statements, right? All these immature statements going on in the going around for years. फल की इच्छा मत रखो, ये भगवान को मत मांगो, बिना मांगे पूजा करो. क्यों भाई? Why should I give my time for nothing? I don't do that for anything else in life. Why should I spend my time, my energy, collect ingredients, sit there exclusively, and then for nothing? You don't do anything for nothing in life. That is not what is being said. You do even with phala asha, even wanting a result. But the understanding you do the karma with is this action I am performing as puja to Ishvara. So when I do the puja also and any other action that I do in my life, I take it as puja to Ishvara, an offering to Ishvara. So Ishvara is involved. Whatever job you do, you bring in Ishvara. You have the understanding of Ishvara. That's why even to understand Ishvara first, there is no option. Spiritual sadhana without Ishvara, you won't get anywhere. A lot of people have this idea that they are doing spiritual sadhana. I don't need God. I don't need to do puja. I don't need to relate to Ishvara. I'm a better person. What? I'm doing spiritual sadhana. What kind of spiritual sadhana? If Ishvara is not there, if you don't even include Ishvara, where is spiritual sadhana? You think looking at your breathing is going to help you? Standing on your head just like that is going to help you? Without Ishvara? No. You can stand on your head still, but with Ishvara. So there is no option. And we will have a clear appreciation of what is Ishvara. So what I do, I include Ishvara, Ishvara Arpana, and I am doing this action as an offering to Ishvara. Ishvara Arpana Buddhya Karma Karanam. This is one step. I'm just, as I told you, this is just tip of the iceberg, what I'm showing you. There's much more we will understand as we go. And then the next step is Prasada Buddhya Phala Swikaranam. So I accept the results that come as prasada from Ishvara, because once I have offered something to Ishvara, that becomes prasada. Whatever comes from Ishvara becomes prasada. It can be a tulsi leaf, it can be a bilwa leaf, it can be a little bit of chandan, it can be a little bit of sindur, it can be laddu, it can be chappana bhog, anything. But once I have offered, that becomes prasad and I have to take it. I cannot say no. And it's good to teach the children as well. You should never say no to prasad. What comes from Ishvara is prasad. If you have allergy, that's a different story, but still you can choose to take something else. But something as prasad from Ishvara.